This might be the most shocking feature in all of Antarctica.
Welcome to WatchMojo, and today we're looking at the strangest phenomena related to the southernmost continent on Earth.
The sound is not alien, it's planetary. Trapped seismic waves vibrating across the world's largest expanse of floating ice.
Number 10, hundreds of underground lakes. Antarctica is surrounded by the Southern Ocean, but that's not the only body of water around the continent. Scientists have discovered nearly 400 subglacial lakes.
Below thousands of meters of ice in Antarctica lie hundreds of meltwater lakes where the Antarctic ice sheet meets the continent's bedrock.
It wasn't until the 1970s that radar technology was first able to locate these bodies of water. The biggest of these, Lake Vostok, is volume-wise the 6th largest lake in the entire world. Despite being cut off from oxygen and sun, biological life forms such as bacteria have been discovered in these lakes.
We're not even totally sure what most of these living things are. The team thinks that many of them could be sponges of some kind.
They're known as extremophilic organisms, able to survive under incredibly harsh conditions. And how did these lakes form? There once was a supercontinent called Gondwana that Antarctica was part of. Scientists theorize that these lakes formed following their separation.
Understanding how much water is flowing under the ice sheet and how quickly it can drain to the sea helps give us a better picture of not only how quickly the Antarctic ice sheet will change due to a warming climate, but also how Antarctic melt will affect both global ocean currents and sea level rise.
Number 9. Strange creatures. We have to commend researchers and others who spend any amount of time in Antarctica knowing full well of its harsh conditions.
Despite its hostility, people are still drawn to this desolate continent today.
But humans aren't the only species that have managed to survive on this continent. And we're not just talking about penguins and seals. Beneath the ice sheets and in the depths of the Southern Ocean live creatures of your nightmares, such as sea spiders and scale worms.
It was clearly a scale worm, a marine relative of earthworms, which is also called a sea mouse.
While these creatures look a bit unsettling, you should be concerned about their survival. Rising ocean temperatures and other environmental factors threaten their existence.
It's really important to recognise just how complex and interconnected a system Antarctica is, and how an extreme in one part of the system, for example, a heat wave in the atmosphere, can impact another part.
We might not be able to live in frigid temperatures, but many of them have to. Number 8. Blood Falls. We don't know many people who would honeymoon at Blood Falls, but this waterfall in McMurdo Dry Valley is one of the most fascinating parts of Antarctica.
And here in the Dry Valleys, Blood Falls is one of the most intriguing features.
True to its name, Blood Falls looks like literal blood as its water gushes out of a glacier and fills Lake Bonny below. The crimson coloration was first thought to be caused by red algae.
All the red here is iron oxides, but as you can see, this water here is pretty clear.
However, it was later determined to be caused by oxidation of the iron-rich water, similar to how rusty pipes will turn a reddish color.
And as it spends time at the surface, that's when it becomes oxidized and leaves this beautiful red color around.
Does it make us a little squeamish? Yes, but it's still an amazing phenomenon. Number 7. Mount Erebus the Volcano. The frozen landscape of Antarctica is the last place you might expect to find a volcano, let alone an active one.
This is Mount Erebus in Antarctica.
There is hot magma right pretty much beneath our feet.
The southernmost active volcano in the world.
But Mount Erebus is a massive volcano on Ross Island that is most easily reached by flight. With a height of more than 12,000 feet, this volcano is awe-inspiring in terms of size and activity, with regular smaller eruptions known as Strombolian eruptions.
It actually has pretty regular Strombolian eruptions. That's where a volcano just builds up some pressure on the inside and then it goes pop and it blows a bunch of lava out the top of it.
It's also one of the few volcanoes in the world with lava lakes.
Sometimes you can spot a bubbling lava lake. It's one of only 8 volcanoes in the world that has one.
Ross Island contains 3 other volcanoes, but only Mount Erebus is active. Elsewhere on Antarctica is another active volcano, Deception Island, named for its misleading appearance of a typical island. Number 6. Singing Ice. Want to hear some really avant-garde music? Try to get a ticket to hear the Ross Ice Shelf.
In the most desolate place on Earth, where a frozen land is shaped by harsh weather, is a strange sort of sound seeping through the ice.
Antarctica's biggest ice shelf is about the size of Canada's Yukon Territory and produces a haunting sound when wind blows across it. This sound, somewhat similar to that of a didgeridoo, varies based on different environmental factors, including snowstorms.
Sounds a bit like a didgeridoo. It's got a very interesting tone.
But you can't just cup your ear and hear it. Scientists found the sound through special seismic sensors. Like the continent it's on, this sound is eerie, expansive, and beautiful. Anyone want to start a band in Antarctica? Number 5. Fossils of dinosaurs and more. Believe it or not, Antarctica wasn't always an ice-covered desert. For nearly 100 million years, it was a warm and subtropical region full of forests.
In the age of dinosaurs, there were no polar ice caps. Antarctica was covered in forests. Rivers carried driftwood to the sea.
Then, about 34 million years ago, climate shifts caused it to freeze over. Thanks to the efforts of scientists, we can use fossils to see what sort of species used to live there, including dinosaurs.
And so we know that there were forests here before, and other sites are consistent with that. For example, there are dinosaur remains found in similar deposits in different parts of Antarctica.
Can you imagine an Antarctica teeming with trees and dinosaurs? We don't know exactly what caused this continent's major freeze, but with fossil records and other evidence, we can get a better sense of Antarctica's past.
And part of what we did down there was just try to get a good picture of the whole biota. So not just the vertebrates, but also the invertebrates, plants, to get an idea of what the landscape looked like.
Number 4. Ancient meteorites. Most of the meteorites discovered on Earth were found in Antarctica.
The meteorites in our collections now are from Antarctica, and we have 45,000 of them, but only 100 are this size or larger.
It's not necessarily that more landed on the icy continents than anywhere else. Rather, the conditions simply make them easier to discover, especially darker ones, which sharply contrast with the ice.
That's now almost gone, exposing everything that was transported in the ice, and that's exactly why down there we found about 300 meteorites.
One big mystery, though, is the lack of iron meteorites in Antarctica, especially when compared to the rest of the world. Researchers hypothesized these meteorites are embedded deep in the ice. In 2019, they employed special detection equipment, including high-tech snowmobiles, to test this hypothesis. What's the big deal about finding some space rocks? Discovering and examining these meteorites could reveal some hidden wonders of the solar system, like the formation of rocky planets.
We find a lot of different types of meteorites, so things that are sort of the earliest pieces of rock that condensed when our solar system formed. So, you know, the early history of our solar system and what the chemistry was like.
Number 3. Alien conspiracies. Antarctica already seems like another planet, but could visitors from another world be trying to contact us on it?
Rumors of extraterrestrial activity in Antarctica have circulated for years. If these accounts are true, and there is, in fact, an extraterrestrial presence in Antarctica today, could it have been there for hundreds or even thousands of years?
In 2012, a video of a mysterious round object hovering over the Neumayer Station 3 drew plenty of speculation about what it could be. Though plenty of evidence points towards it being a weather balloon, the so-called Neumayer UFO still tapped into our collective fascination with intergalactic visitors. And in 2018, Secure Team 10, a YouTube channel focused on the paranormal, posted Google Earth footage that supposedly pointed to evidence of a UFO crash in Antarctica.
And what appears to me, at least, to be some sort of massive, elongated, or cigar-shaped object that at some point, and we don't know when, came to a screeching halt in the snow.
This was debunked as being instead the result of an avalanche. Still, there are surely more mysteries to come, and perhaps we're not as alone as we think. Number 2. The Massive Hole. Even with its minuscule human population, Antarctica has a lot going on. In 2017, the Maud Rise Polynya, a hole of open water in an ocean surrounded by ice, was spotted for the first time since 1974.
Formation of this gaping hole that has ranged from the size of New Zealand to the size of South Carolina doesn't seem to be related to changes in temperature.
This was not some tiny aberration, as its area grew to more than 30,000 square miles, or nearly 5 times the size of Hawaii. Researchers later determined that strong cyclones and winds had likely knocked the ice off from the area.
The researchers found that increases in salinity and strong storm activity are likely the two formative factors for this mysterious polynya.
While hearing giant hole in reference to Antarctica is definitely concerning, a polynya has some benefits, such as allowing for photosynthesis to help plants grow underwater. However, sea ice loss is still a major environmental concern, with effects that stretch far beyond Antarctica.
This is how much sea ice is usually around in mid-July, and this is how much was around this year. Is it a one-off? Or is it the new normal as the climate warms?
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into Settings and switch on your notifications. Number 1. The mysterious Gombertsev mountain range. There's practically an entire world underneath Antarctica's ice sheets, including a massive mountain range. Russian scientists discovered the Gombertsev Mountains in 1958, seemingly by chance. It's unclear how these mountains, roughly equivalent in size to the European Alps, formed, or how they've survived for billions of years. No human has actually laid eyes on these mountains either, but scientists have been able to examine their features through special radar equipment. A study in the late 2000s uncovered various bodies of water that created a frozen mantle, helping to keep the mountains from eroding. Good luck trying to climb these mountains. Which of these Antarctica mysteries fascinates you the most? Let us know in the comments.
So where is this briny water coming from? Looking around, there's another clue. The red color that makes this feature look bloody.
Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.